Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and Disney Star Wars fans and Star Wars fans in general may, and I do mean may, finally have some good news. So, I recently found an article talking about Kathleen Kennedy and rumors of severance pay and a severance package. So, take this with a grain of salt. It's coming from the Direct. Let's go over this article. Kathleen Kennedy signed severance deal with Lucasfilm, according to new rumor. Now, if this is true, that does not immediately mean Disney Star Wars is saved. I just want to throw that out there. Disney Star Wars is and has been in shambles effectively since the beginning. They got off to a pretty fine start with The Force Awakens, did really well with Rogue One, then it has been all downhill from there with a few minor bright spots, like Season 1 of Mandalorian being okay, Season 7 of the Clone Wars, the last 4 episodes being amazing, but everything leading up to it, just kind of whatever. Andor I've heard is great, but by the time Andor came out, I gave up. I didn't care. I hadn't watched it. So, minus a few brighter than normal spots, Disney Star Wars has been awful since the jump. So, let's take a look at this article, see what it has to say. After 10 years as Star Wars top dog, Kathleen Kennedy may be planning her Lucasfilm departure. The Walt Disney Company has gone through a turbulent time lately. The firing of Bob Chapek and other executives has given way to a wave of changes for the entertainment giant. A new rumor indicates that president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, may be the next to leave. Well, we can only hope, am I right? After Bob Iger was reinstated as CEO in a shock leadership change in November, executives expected him to make quick changes to the company's strategy. Their estimates were correct when Disney announced a reduced movies and TV output for 2023. Well, that's good. I mean, I don't want to give credit to Iger. I can't stand the guy. He's actually responsible for the vast majority of poor decisions at Disney, not Chapek. He put in place the stuff that Chapek was following. And yeah, burnout was a real problem. I mean, a new Star Wars project every year, and in films every 2 to 3 years, and then you've got the movies, and it was just so much. You oversaturated the market to the point where fans just didn't care, myself included. So I think that, yeah, slowing down is a great idea. Now, that's not immediately going to fix everything. We've still got the travesty that's Indiana Jones 5 coming out. They've still got their grab bag of old IPs they're reaching into to try and dust off with new woke ideologies like in Willow. So, again, not everything is exactly perfect, but it's at least a start, so I'll at least give credit where credit's due. Let's continue. Now it seems that Lucasfilm is next to deal with the effects of Disney's shakeup, with its longtime president rumored to have signed a severance package, indicating her potential exit from the company. Kathleen Kennedy's multi-million-dollar exit. Frankly, I don't care how much money it costs. Throw all the money at Kathleen Kennedy to get her out there, as far as I'm concerned, because she is... And the thing... I want to say, I'm not some blind Kathleen Kennedy hater. She has, in the past, under Spielberg, done some amazing work. Like, if you want to give credit to Jurassic Park for anyone besides Spielberg, you give it to Kathleen Kennedy. She's done great work. But ever since going with Disney Lucasfilm and woke ideologies getting forced down our throats and into all forms of media, that's when she went sour. So, let's continue. Hollywood screenwriter Cameron Pasha appeared on a video for the YouTube channel Valiant Renegade and dropped an interesting rumor regarding Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy's potential multi-million closing deal. The claim that I've been given is that the severance contract that she has closed with Disney would give her between $25 to $30 million in severance golden. Now, I don't know what severance golden means. I would doubt that's all cash. I mean, it's probably like maybe $5 million cash, then a bunch in like Disney stocks or something to that effect, but maybe they go on to say. The screenwriter shared that his sources were surprised by how much of it was tied up in, stock or stock options. However, his interviewer quipped that these arrangements were pretty normal in business. Yeah, they are. I mean, Bob Chapek got a very similar deal. Yeah, he got some cash, but the vast majority of his massive payout was in stock and stock options. So I'm not surprised at all, if this is true, that that's what Kathleen Kennedy's will be as well. Still, the rumor indicates that her departure will come after the fanfare for next year's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which stars legendary actor Harrison Ford. Yeah, legendary actor, but shouldn't be doing Indy anymore. They should have stopped with Indy. You know, I'm going to be one of those people that's kind of an apologist for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get me wrong. The problem is, it's an average movie. And when all three of the classic indie movies are perfect 10 out of 10s, having a 6.5 out of 10 makes it look like a 2 out of 10. But this isn't, time for me to start trashing Indiana Jones and whatnot. I just want to throw my 2 cents out there about that. Pasha commented that she will be allowed to quietly remain the head of Lucasfilm for a few more months, but that her retirement will be announced after the film has been released. Disney must expect the film to perform well, as Pasha believes any numbers connected to the next Indiana Jones installment will provide a favorable way to frame Kennedy's retirement. No, it is going to do well. I want to throw this out there. The next, and hopefully final, Indiana Jones film will do well, because people do love the character. They're going to want to go and see it and be, oh, what's Indy been up to? I want the next part of his story. And then after it's made all of its money, there's going to be people talking about how garbage it is. The Rotten Tomatoes score for the audience is going to be crap, even though it's going to be certified fresh by the professional critics. And then you're going to get article after article about how angry white men don't like it because it's ruining their childhood or whatever. That's how it's going to go. That's how it always goes. We know that's how it's going to go. So yeah, the movie's going to make money, but making money does not mean it's good. At least presented as her retiring on her golden laurels of whatever the numbers will end up being with Indiana Jones. In light of this, he estimated that Kennedy could leave the company as early as July 2023. Well, hey, my birthday's in July. That would be a great Christmas present for me. Come on, Disney, do something for old Leon Idol. Give me a birthday present of firing Kathleen Kennedy. While Pasha commented that he could not confirm the rumor with his own eyes, he has faith in the sources that have shared this information, especially after a second source approached him in the past few days and said they were talking to a reporter at one of the trades. Yet, this one does seem to corroborate with similar reports. Well, to be fair, we've been hearing this report for years about Kathleen Kennedy getting fired after underperforming Star Wars project, this, that, and the other. Now, this is the first time to actually talk about a severance deal and severance packages and stock options to my knowledge, so maybe there is more credence. But I mean, people like Doomcock and Mike Zero, who just make up blatant lies 9 times out of 10 for YouTube views, have reported on this before, and it's been wrong every time. Last month, YouTuber John Campea revealed that much like Pasha, his sources indicate that Kathleen Kennedy will be removed as Lucasfilm president around the time of Indiana Jones 5's release. Will Kennedy leave Lucasfilm in 2023? Pasha seems confident in his sources enough to share the rumor with the World Wide Web. With an entertainment background himself, he will be well versed in how the internet can often take a rumor and explode it, leading industry leaders often stepping back in to fact check. I mean, yeah, what are we doing right now? Me, I'm sure several others, I bet the folks over at Geeks and Gamers, which, I love them. Don't always agree with them, but I love them. I bet they're going to cover this. So it wouldn't surprise me that precautions will be taken once this news starts breaking the internet. If it breaks the internet. There's a whole lot more going on right now than Kathleen Kennedy. At the end of the day, it's just one rumor in a sea of many, and Star Wars fans are fatigued with just how often headlines about Kathleen Kennedy's exit have circulated in recent years. Yeah, exactly what I just said. It would certainly be a well-timed exit, and if the new Indiana Jones performs well, it could provide a golden moment to cap off a long and successful career in the industry. She has had a long career in the industry. I don't know about successful, considering the last 10 to 15 years, but again, to her credit, everything prior to that, I will agree, success. With 8 months until Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny hits theaters, fans will have to wait to see if the rumor is true, and a new president will be stepping into Kennedy's shoes partway through the new year. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny arrives in theaters June 30th, 2023. Alright, so here's my thoughts on this. Just because she leaves, if she leaves, while I do think that is potentially great, we don't know who's going to take over. Is it going to be Jon Favreau? I mean, the man has proven that he at least has a better understanding of Star Wars than her with things like Mandalorian, but has also made incalculable missteps with, Book of Boba Fett. Will it be Dave Filoni? I don't know. I've said before, Dave Filoni's a good idea guy, but I think he's a bit too big for his britches. People let him run unchecked, and he can just do whatever he wants, just like what they let George Lucas do with the prequels, and it can cause some missteps. So, all in all, I don't know who would be taking over, and maybe it's neither of those two, and we get some, new name. I mean, probably not new. They will probably have somebody who has a bit of a resume under their belt, but new to the Star Wars scene. Maybe even someone like Deborah Cho or Bryce Dallas Howard. I think those are a lot lower on the list than Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni. But also, Hollywood, anti-white male, want to put a female in charge, like what happened with She-Hulk. So, anything's possible. But yeah, I think if she leaves, we should still be weary of who they put in place and don't immediately start rejoicing until we see the quality of product and if the quality of product improves. I mean, I'm not sure when The Acolyte comes out, but if The Acolyte comes out prior to Indiana Jones, or even worse, after Indiana Jones, that would still have Kennedy's fingerprints all over it, unless Disney does the smart thing and scraps it. But I think that's about all I've got for this. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Is this a saving grace for Star Wars? Do you hope it happens? Do you think Kathleen Kennedy gets too much flack? It's not actually all her fault. Let me know, and please like, comment, subscribe. I am really trying to grow this channel. It means the world to me. Also, follow me on Twitter at BoltTheWord. And this has been Words of Paradise.